Home inventory is not rising as fast or as much as we thought it would. According to Logan Mohtashami here in Housing Wire, I'm going to bring you here the news. It's another week, the final week of March now, and we are here to talk about what's happening in the real estate market. Right now, we are smack dab in the middle of the 2024 peak of the housing market. In other words, this is the time of year where most sellers, most buyers are out here looking for homes. Now, it's been still a very active real estate market all year throughout. I mean, even in the wintertime, we've seen statistics that show we had about 7, 8, 9 shows per listing, and we had inventory that was still active in the market. And those homes that were available during even the winter months, the coldest winter months here in the Chicagoland area, we still had demand out here. But now that it's Easter today, happy Easter by the way, and April is starting tomorrow, we're right in the middle of the spring season. So now those homes that do come up on the market, you're going to see demand for those homes even more so. So instead of 9 shows per listing, we're looking at about 20 to 25 shows per listing at the moment. And instead of 2 to 3 offers on a well-priced home in a desirable area, you're going to see maybe 8, 10 offers. Maybe that's the case there. It could be different from wherever you're watching, but here in the Chicagoland area, that's what we see here. Now, in this video, I am going to cover the national news and just this quick article here about what's happening in the housing inventory, as we are now going to be going over this absolutely right here in the moment. So if you recall, and if you've been watching videos of mine for some time, you've seen that here in the left side of the screen, I used to have the whole article here as a screenshot or as a website. You could just scroll it and see different highlights and whatnot. But I've upgraded that. So if you like this new look here of having a graphic with the text, let me know what you think about this. And of course here I am going to put this DJI Mic 2 in the video because I'm a fan of it. You know, I'm liking what I have here, and I have right now the noise reduction feature. So if you hear some background noise in the background, pardon that noise. Like they say, you know, pardon our dust, pardon the noise in the background, as I am a family man and I am still doing this in the middle of a busy day. Remember, it's Easter and they want me to be out there with them. So I'm just going to take a few minutes here to show you, the client out here, what is happening in the real estate market. And if you find yourself in the Chicagoland area looking to sell a home anytime soon, make sure to give me a call here at 630-777-4597. If you want to have a conversation, an interview with a real estate agent that can help sell your house at your price or better, for sure, don't neglect to give your house the best shot to sell. All right, so Housing Wire. Housing news is this: home inventory not growing as fast as expected. So what does that say? Well, according to this article from Weekly Active Inventory Growth, still too slow, according to Logan Mohtashami here. Let me go ahead and put this there. Perfect. Weekly inventory growth still too slow, says Logan Mohtashami here. All right, so let's make this look better. There it is. Part of the quote here says, the best housing story in 2024, he says, is that inventory is growing. Year to year, we've seen inventory grow here nationally, which is good news. We thought that it was going to be, you know, a little bit slower, but, you know, the growth has happened. We did take a step back in 2023 with home inventory nationally, but now this year we have surpassed that. In fact, I will give you a number right here. Let's see, go here. All right. Weekly inventory change, that was last week. Let me just go ahead and take a look. Perfect. Sorry, it's a little bit out of the way here. I just wanted to jump ahead a few slides and show you what I'm talking about here when Logan Mohtashami here does mention the inventory year to year. Watch. 2022, let me just show you here. 2022, the inventory was 56,258 inventory this time of year. And 2023, we saw 48,442, which took a step down, right? Many steps down. And now 2024, we see that number rising again. So 59,854 is the national number here for inventory. So as you can see here, that inventory has gone up substantially compared to last year. And this is kind of weird, isn't it? Because we know that inventory, is on the rise, but we also know that interest rates are not that favorable, right? It's not that it's not looking great. Earlier this year, a lot of folks were thinking that this is the year of 5% interest rates, and interest rates did go down somewhat, but now as of late, we have seen interest rates hovering around the upper 6s and low 7s. As a matter of fact, this morning, we have seen the interest rates at like 7.1 national average for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So that's where the state of affairs is, but yet homes are coming on the market. Sellers are confident enough that they can put their house on the market to sell based even on, what's happening in the market with the interest rates being the way they are. Is there any respite inside? We're going to get to that just a little bit later on here in this quick little video, okay? So yes, let's see here. The best housing story, says Logan Mohtashami, in 2024 is that inventory is growing, which is nice. You have more inventory in the market. What's going to happen is the buyers that are out there are going to have more options to choose from, which is great for the economy, but and also I believe great for housing pricing, because if pricing has been high, it has been up, and the more inventory you get, more competitors for a home, hey, that could cause price adjustments to be more frequent, or homes to drop in price if the demand starts to taper down a little bit because of the extra demand. But the less inventory, the demand is still going to be up there, and it's going to cause prices to continue to elevate if there are not enough homes for sale, because people are buying or looking for more. More buyers are out here looking for the same thing, and that's just not good for everybody. Okay, so that's what happens here. Now, housing market, let's take a look. He says in this article, we should be able to grow weekly active inventory between 11,000 and up to 17,000 on some weeks, but it just hasn't grown that fast. Weekly inventory change, March 22nd to 29th, inventory rose from 512,759 to 517,355. So national inventory has risen, okay, but just not enough. In fact, if you do the math here, that looks anywhere from maybe 4,000 and some change above, which again here he says that inventory should rise about 11,000 to 17,000 on a weekly basis. He says here in some weeks that should increase. So if it's even the minimum 11,000 growth, if we only grew four grand, that's not enough. That's why his title of the article is saying weekly active inventory growth is still too slow. Okay, so that's what's happening on a national level here. And he says here in this article, the growth in 2024 has been disappointing, he said, because I had expected a bit more by now. So this gentleman here, of course, Logan Mohtashami, is very well respected, very well known in the housing bubbles, right? Housing circles. And he's one that a lot of folks look into. I myself understand that his writing is very good, very active. And so we're going to continue to, just seek out the best information out here. Okay, so that's what he expects. And that's the number right here, as you can see in my slide, the number that I quoted earlier. Hold on a second. And now, weekly active inventory growth is still too slow. So for context, new listings data at this time in 2010 ran at 326,266. That was the active inventory at that time. Okay, so just give you some context there. So again, if our number for this week is, right here, if you can see it, 517,355. Context, several years ago, it was at 326,266. So there was, a time when inventory was even, lower than it is, because right now, compared to 2010, our inventory is higher nationally than it was back in 2010. Does that make sense? So that's good. All right. Now we start talking about purchase application data. Here in this article, he does speak about what is the demand? See, purchase application data is important because it gives you an idea of what the demand looks like. It's almost like taking the temperature, right, of how the buyers are, feeling in this housing market. Are they really rushing, to add, to get out into the market and start looking? Are they looking to get into the market? Are they looking to get into the action? Purchase application data is what shows you now. Another factor that I like to look at in determining how the buyer's sentiment, right? How the buyers are, feeling, and how many buyers are out there is by looking at shows per listing, right? Shows per listing is another factor that we use here in the housing market to, again, gauge the temperature of the buyers, right? The buyer side of things. Are more buyers getting into the market? Are more buyers trying to get in here and buy a home? Or are less buyers getting in here? that all has a factor in pricing and in demand, right? So what does purchase application data say on a national level? According to Logan Motoshami here, he says it was flat on a week-to-week basis and down 15% year over year. So a year ago, let's just say there was, let's say, for example, just for the sake of argument, 100 purchase applications. This year we have 85. So it is down year over year. Okay, so compared to last year, there's 15% less this week folks looking to apply for a mortgage. And week over week, right, compared to last week on a national level, it hasn't really changed, right? We are still at the same amount of applications this week as we were last week. So buyer sentiment, it's still not red hot. It's not shooting up. It's not crashing either. It's not going down. It's just steady level. You know, steady, but it's consistent with the year, you know, year to year, where it's lower as inventory is lower. There's less activity, lower. And so we're going to, you know, see that play out. Okay, so that's the state of affairs when it comes to purchase application data. And I decided here to give you a more visual, right? It's not just enough to give you the article and the quote. It's also helpful to see what the purchase application data looks like. So as I zoom in here, you can see here that the purchase application data has dropped even to a level that was a very extreme low level. As you can see here, March 27th, we were sitting at that number, 145.7. And yeah, that's where we are so far. Very low levels according to the U.S. Mortgage Bankers Association Purchase Index. So that is just showing you, again, a quick visual of where the trend has been. Buyer demand is still hot, especially here in the western suburbs of Chicago. However, nationally, you do see a drop in purchase application data. Okay, that's what's going on here in that market. Okay, so lower inventory, of course, is still extremely low, and buyer demand has started to go downward, obviously. All right, so the outlook, what's going to happen now this upcoming week? The big news, and what Logan Motoshami and myself and others here in the real estate world are expecting is, look, it's jobs week. So what does that mean? You know, it's a factor in determining what's going to happen with interest rates, right? And interest rates do have an influence over, you know, what happens in housing, what happens in, you know, the conversations you have here and there. This week, interest rates, again, didn't fluctuate crazy. They didn't go high or anything like that. However, you know, the jobs report, which is something, again, that Logan Motoshami looks at, it's going to come out this week, right? And that has a big influence as to what's going to happen. He is of the mindset that he does still see that, you know, there's going to be some rate cuts this coming up year. And so that's what we got going on here with the week coming up. With 4 labor reports coming out, we're going to see, and he expects some big, you know, shifts in interest rate, at least not crazy changes. However, it's going to be something that's going to influence, you know, what's going on forward in the future. Anyway, that's what's going to happen in the housing market here. If you have any questions about real estate here in the area, not just national, but even local, especially now that tomorrow we have new local data going to appear here in our reports, I would love to share that with you. Again, if you find yourself here in the Chicagoland area looking to sell a house, give me a call here at 630-777-4597. And for all of those watching today, hey, happy Easter. Hopefully you and your friends and your family members have a great time and make some memories. Okay, so with that said, I will see you again next time. Take care. Yeah. What's up?